In this video, we'll learn to create artwork or stitches from TrueType fonts. And so a TTF kind of refers to the fonts that are made up of artwork. Those are the ones that, are sort of installed in Windows, and whatever TrueType fonts you actually have installed in your Windows can be used with the Floriani software. And there's really two ways that you can use them. And one way is as artwork, and the other way is as stitches, and it's kind of different. Let me kind of demonstrate. First of all, if you click on your text tool, notice that the final option on the list is import TrueType font artwork, and that will open up, that will bring the font in as artwork. Of course, we can still apply stitches to it, but it won't immediately have stitches. And so you come in here and you make it say kind of whatever you want it to say. And so you type in your text and you say, OK. But before you do, you can choose the font. So see the option here, it says select. So it's set to Arial. But if I click on select, I get an option box that I can choose any of the TrueType fonts that are in my computer. And you can just scroll through, choose the one that you want. And then you can also choose between regular or bold or oblique. And so you can do like a bold oblique version if you want. And these are things that you can't normally get, when you kind of work through the text tool, only when you bring in the TrueType font as artwork. Now you have the ability to get the size of it. You can go up as high as 72 or as small as, I guess, 8. The reality is you can resize it later anyways, but you pick your font style and the size and say OK. And so now I have this font loaded up with this text, and when I say OK, it brings that in. And so I chose a font, and I brought it in at a nice large size. But like I said, I can always use my handle to resize this to any size that I want to. And essentially each one of these letters is a piece of artwork. Now the software simply sees a shape. It doesn't know that it's the letter F. It's just a shape. And I can come in and use any of the styles of embroidery that we have to fill it. So I could make it a run stitch outline, or I could make it a standard fill, or I could make it a satin fill. And so really that's the interesting thing with bringing in the text as artwork, is it brings it in, and now you can interact with that artwork and fill it in kind of in any way that you choose to. And so that's kind of how it works when you use the tool for import TrueType font as artwork. And that's a fun one, especially if you go import TrueType font as artwork. And then there are symbol windings and webdings that come with Windows, and you'll find that there are lots of great sources for TrueType fonts on the internet that can be free. And so now if I come into windings and I say OK, and I don't necessarily know what I'm going to get if I use the letters Floriani Fusion, but whatever keystrokes are available for under windings, and look what I got now. A whole bunch of symbols, and so here's a cool little hand, and maybe you could make that into a run stitch embroidery. And this is the concept, that you can create embroidery kind of from your TrueType fonts. But I also want to point out that you can also do it more instantaneously. So if I actually just start a new text segment, that will come up and probably just say my text. It always comes up with whatever font I used most recently, so it's set on the font Anna. And all of these fonts are embroidery fonts that came with the software. So you have a list that you can choose from. But there's also an option box in here to choose from the TrueType font list. And now if you scroll through, you'll be scrolling through the TrueType font letters, same as before, that are in your Windows. And now if I choose the same font and I click apply, the software will auto-digitize the embroidery. So this font didn't have stitches. The software put them on when I converted it into the TrueType font. And so this is the idea that when you use the text tool, but choose the True Type Font option, the software puts the thread into the text for you. And that's a little bit different from using the interactive tool to import True Type fonts as artwork, because that'll simply bring in your text as artwork and then you will assign the text to it. So either way, it's great to know that you can expand your lettering capabilities with the option to impart True Type font letters.